Come to our guest, who we introduced in the beginning. It's Martin Mainzer, who left Germany right before Kristallnacht in 1938 and is now the chairman of the Chicago chapter of the Leo Baeck Institute, which initiated the American tour of the Jews in Germany under Prussian rule exhibit, currently at the University of Illinois, the Chicago chapter, Chicago location. It's spanning 9 centuries of German Jewry. In fact, the Jerusalem Post described it as a dramatic barometer of history, one of the most interesting exhibitions relating to Jews. That's a very lofty comment about that. Welcome to the show, Martin. Yep. First, I think what a lot of people would like to know is who was Leo Baeck and what is the Institute?
Well, the Leo Baeck Institute is a research organization devoted to do historical research on German-speaking Jewry. It has 3 centers, one in New York, one in Jerusalem, and one in London, England. Leo Baeck was chief rabbi of Berlin during the 1920s. He was a teacher, he was a rabbi, he was a philosopher. When the Nazis came to power, he assumed the presidency of the Federation of German Jews, and as such dealt as representative of German Jews with the Nazis. He showed a lot of courage. He declined offers to leave Germany because he felt as long as there was still a Jew in Germany, he should remain. He was sent to a concentration camp in 1943. He lived through that time. He went to the Theresienstadt, and after he was liberated, he went to London, where he became the president of the Union of Liberal Judaism, and where he passed away in 1956.
Let me ask you particularly about the exhibit, which incidentally will remain through the month of January. Admission is free, and it closes at 10 o'clock in the evenings and 5 o'clock on weekends, so there's plenty of time and plenty of available parking space. What is the background of the exhibit? And incidentally, I have here a catalog of that exhibit, and I'm going to show some of the scenes that are available. But this kind of says it all. What's the background of the exhibit? Who organized it, and where has it been, and where's it going?
I think the remarkable thing about the exhibit is that it was organized by non-Jews. It was conceived and developed by the director of the picture archives of the Chamber of Prussian Culture in Berlin. He got help and advice and material both from archives in Jerusalem as well as from the Leo Baeck Institute in New York, but it was his idea, it was his concept, and it was shown in Germany into 1981 and 1982. And there it was seen by members of the American Jewish community, and they, together with the Leo Baeck Institute, then saw to it that it was shown in cities in the United States.
It seems a major thrust of the exhibit, and you'll be showing some photos from the catalog, is the emancipation or supposed emancipation of Jews in Germany. In fact, a philosopher, Johann Gottlieb Fichte, in 1793 said he vehemently opposed emancipation and recommended there's only one way to give Jews civil rights, and that is to cut off all Jewish heads one night and replace them with others, which he meant was to abandon their national association or religious association and to adapt the national one. How did they finally attain emancipation under that kind of pressure?
Well, emancipation, legally, emancipation was given to the Jews in Germany, and as far as the government was concerned, the legal obligation as citizens or as protection of a Jew as a citizen was fulfilled. But that doesn't mean that the population in general accepted the Jew as a Jew. And Fichte's remark, I think, is typical. Fichte's remark meant, we accept you if you give up your Judaism. Therefore, emancipation became an illusion. You were only accepted as a German if you forgot being a Jew.
You know, there's a tremendous amount of controversy, really, on the role of the church during the Nazi Holocaust. This exhibition has a very, very pointed message to make on 2 extremes. The first is something I'd like to show, a role of a group of Catholic clergy, in this case, who 6 months after Hitler came to power in 1933, indicated to go along with the mob, the masses, in order to protect itself. However, let me turn the pages of and go to, and this too is something that we have recorded, and I think everyone should, if we can note this text from Pope John the 23rd, written shortly before his death in June of 1963, where he goes on to say, we know now that the mark of Cain is on our forehead. Over the course of centuries, our brother Abel has lain in the blood we have spilled and has wept tears which we have caused because we forgot your love. Forgive us for the curse which we unjustly placed on the name of the Jews. Forgive us for crucifying you a second time, for we knew not what we were doing. That Pope John the 23rd in 1963. So we have two extremes in terms of the role of the church before and after.
Very briefly, we only have very few seconds left. Why is this so significant? You have said this is very significant for our time.
Because I think if you look at American Jewry in our time, you will find great similarity to German Jewry in the 1920s.
I thank Mr. Mainzer for being with us. Don't forget the exhibit. Next week, our program will be preempted for the Variety Club Telethon. Please support it. We'll be back 2 weeks with What's New. And if you have any items you want to have reported, send them to What's New, WGN Television 9, 2501, West Bradley Place, Chicago, 606.